In the heart of the burning desert, where the Nile slithers like an ancient serpent through golden sands, stands a civilization lost to time, but never to wonder. Egypt. The very name conjures images of colossal pyramids, gods with falcon heads, and a people obsessed with the stars. But what if their fascination with the heavens wasn't mere mythology? What if some of the objects buried deep beneath the shifting dunes are not relics of superstition, but evidence of contact with something not of this earth? Across the sands, in sacred tombs and sealed chambers, there are three artifacts, not just strange, not just beautiful, but eerily familiar to our modern eyes. Each one bears a resemblance so uncanny, so precise to modern spacecraft, that it defies logic. Could these objects be symbolic? Or could they be literal? And so, a question begins to whisper through the cracks of history. Did the ancient Egyptians see, perhaps even possess, flying machines? This is not a story of pyramids alone. This is a tale of time travelers, of cosmic visitors, of enigmas carved in stone and gold. These are the forgotten clues, overlooked by scholars, buried by sand, and perhaps concealed by design. Tonight, we open a scroll not found in any museum. We journey beyond pharaohs and gods, beyond tombs and temples, into the shadows of eternity, where three artifacts wait in silence. Three ancient Egyptian relics that look exactly like spaceships. In 1898, deep within a tomb near the step pyramid of Saqqara, a curious wooden object was unearthed. It was small, just over 14 centimeters in length, delicate, carved from sycamore, and shaped unmistakably like a bird. At first glance, it was catalogued as a simple toy, a child's plaything from a bygone era. After all, the tomb where it was found, belonging to a priest named Padi Iman, contained various other items of daily life. But this was no ordinary bird. Its wings were straight, not curved like any known bird in Egypt's fauna. It lacked feathers. Its tail, vertical and fixed, resembled not a rudder, but a stabilizer, and there was no sign of legs or feet. This was not made to perch. It was made to glide. Modern aerodynamics engineers, decades later, would look at the Saqqara bird and gasp. In the 1960s, Dr. Khalil Messiha, an Egyptian medical doctor with a passion for ancient aviation, proposed a theory that stunned the archaeological world. The Saqqara bird was not a toy, but a model aircraft. Messiha pointed out its aerodynamic properties, its resemblance to modern gliders. He even suggested that the missing part on its nose might have been a vertical stabilizer, something essential to flight stability. Could the ancient Egyptians have understood such principles thousands of years before the Wright brothers? In 2006, a team of aviation experts built a scaled-up replica of the Saqqara bird, adding what they believed might have been a missing tailplane. The result? It flew. It flew. In the silence of the wind tunnel, the ancient wooden form took to the air like a whisper from the past, a feathered ghost reaching across millennia. So what does this mean? Did the Egyptians experiment with flight? Were they inspired by something they had seen, something gliding silently through the heavens? Could the Saqqara bird be a memory carved in wood, a symbol of celestial visitors whose crafts cut through the sky like silent birds of light? Or perhaps it was not symbolic at all. Perhaps it was a scaled replica of what they had once witnessed, machines from above, whose wings did not flap, whose shapes defied nature. Shapes that looked not like birds, but like aircraft. In the temple of Seti Bai, nestled in the sacred city of Abydos, one of the oldest and holiest sites in all of ancient Egypt, there lies an inscription that has sparked debate for decades. It is not hidden in some dark, forgotten corridor. No, this carving stands above a doorway in the main hall of the temple, plainly visible for all who dare to look closely. Among the hundreds of traditional hieroglyphs celebrating the gods, the kings, and the divine order, there exists a curious cluster, 4 distinct shapes that seem to defy all logic, all historical context. One resembles a modern helicopter, complete with rotor blades, cockpit, and tail. Another appears to be a futuristic aircraft, perhaps even a drone or glider. Beside it, something that looks astonishingly like a submarine. And finally, what some claim resembles a space shuttle. Let us pause for a moment. How could this be? These symbols are over 3,000 years old. At the time, the wheel had only recently become common in the region. The notion of flight was reserved for gods and birds. Yet here, chiseled into the sandstone, are images eerily similar to modern machines of war and exploration. Mainstream Egyptologists have long claimed that these figures are the result of palimpsest, a layering of inscriptions. According to this theory, during the reign of Pharaoh Ramesses II, old carvings from Seti I's time were recarved, and over centuries, the top layer fell away, revealing a strange fusion of symbols that now resemble helicopters and submarines. But is this explanation sufficient? Skeptics argue that the carvings are far too clean, too symmetrical, too precise to be mere accidents. The helicopter in particular is so detailed that one can identify features strikingly similar to rotor blades and skids. And so the questions persist. Could this be evidence of ancient beings, visitors from beyond our world, whose technology was so advanced it left an indelible impression on the minds of early humans? Did the scribes of Abydos, in awe of what they had seen, immortalize these machines in stone the only way they knew how? Or were these visions passed down from even older times, memories from a lost civilization whose knowledge reached heights we have yet to reclaim? The walls of the temple remain silent, yet they whisper, in the language of images, of a time when the sky may have been more crowded than we ever imagined. What if, in the age of Seti, the gods did not descend in chariots of fire, but in mechanical vessels, hovering, rotating, gliding silently over the Nile? And what if those gods were not gods at all? Our journey now spirals deeper, past myth, past known history, into a chamber of riddles where few dare to look. For beyond the golden sarcophagi, beyond the hieroglyphs and solemn statues, there lies a carving hidden in plain sight, one that some claim is a rocket. It is found in the very same temple in Abydos, near the so-called helicopter hieroglyphs. But this figure is different, more haunting in its clarity. A tall, narrow structure rises upward in the carving. Its shape tapers like a missile or launch capsule, with a flared base, vertical ridges, and what seems to be a pointed tip. Too symmetrical, too deliberate, to dismiss as chance. Around it are etched lines and symbols that suggest movement, propulsion, ascent. But rockets, by all accepted timelines, did not exist until the 20th century. So, how is it that such a form appears in an ancient Egyptian temple built over 3,000 years ago? The traditional explanations falter here. There are no overcarved glyphs to blame this time, no clear examples of layered inscriptions, no contextual religious meaning to lean on. just the silent stone outline of what looks undeniably like a launch vehicle. Could it be coincidence? Pattern recognition gone wild? Perhaps. But there's more. In the same region, near Abydos and Dendera, are carvings of the Dendera light bulbs, another baffling motif depicting what some believe is an electrical lamp or vacuum tube. Once again, the implication is the same. Advanced technology, far beyond the reach of ancient hands, somehow encoded into sacred temple walls. And then, we return to the skies. The ancient Egyptians were astronomers of extraordinary precision. Their temples aligned with solstices and stellar events. The pyramids of Giza mimic the belt stars of Orion. The Temple of Hathor at Dendera contains a zodiac so advanced it depicts the precession of the equinoxes, knowledge that officially would not be discovered until thousands of years later. Is it possible that the civilization we call ancient Egypt was merely the inheritor of even older wisdom? What if the true architects of these symbols, the rockets, the flying machines, the celestial codes, were visitors from beyond, arriving not as gods of myth, but as explorers from the stars? Were the temples not merely places of worship, but cosmic archives, preserving knowledge of the stars, the heavens, and those who once came from them? And if these rocket-like images are accurate, not just imagination, then the implications shake the foundations of history itself. Did someone leave Earth long before we could even dream of flight? Imagine this: an ancient land bathed in the golden fire of the sun, obelisks casting long shadows across sand-worn temples, priests in white linen whispering chants to Ra, Osiris, and Thoth. But hidden beneath the veils of incense and stone is something far more electrifying, a forgotten science veiled in the skin of religion. What if the myths were never myths? What if the gods were not divine metaphors, but engineers, navigators, and scientists, cloaked in the language of symbolism because their machines were too wondrous to describe? The Egyptians revered Thoth, the god of wisdom, who descended from the stars and gifted humanity the knowledge of writing, numbers, and time itself. They told stories of Ptah, the divine craftsman who shaped the world with thought, and they worshipped Ra, who crossed the sky each day in a radiant boat, not unlike a spacecraft on a daily orbit. Why boats? Why so much emphasis on flight, on stars, on journeys to the underworld and beyond? Could these be cultural echoes, half-remembered tales of visitors who came from the stars, left their mark, and vanished, only to become the deities of legend? And then there are the tools that should not exist. In Saqqara, mysterious drill holes spiral through granite as if cut with high-speed precision. In Giza, marks on stone suggest the use of power tools, diamond-tipped saws, or vibrational cutting techniques, far beyond copper chisels. Yet no such tools have ever been recovered. Could they have been taken back or lost with the fall of a forgotten age? Could the same hands that carved the rocket-like glyphs in Abydos, that molded the Saqqara bird and sculpted the helicopter reliefs, have held technologies not of this earth? What if Egypt was not the birthplace of knowledge, but a repository of it? A lighthouse built on older ruins, older wisdom, and older truths. And what if, just what if, these artifacts are not isolated curiosities, but pieces of a blueprint? A cosmic design scattered in plain sight, waiting for us to see what ancient eyes once knew. That we are not the first to dream of the stars. That the sky was not a ceiling, but a highway. That long before rockets roared into the heavens had already come to us. The wind still moves across the sands of Egypt, whispering secrets to those who dare to listen. 3 artifacts, 3 enigmas carved in stone, wood, and memory. The Abydos reliefs, the Saqqara bird, the rocket statue of Tanis. Are they mere coincidences of artistic imagination, or footprints of something older, something cosmic? Skeptics dismiss them as stylized symbols, products of religious metaphor or creative abstraction, and perhaps they are. But if that were true, why do they so precisely mirror the shape and form of modern aircraft and rockets? Why does a 2,000-year-old bird glide in wind tunnel tests with the grace of a glider? Why does a throne decoration bear the uncanny silhouette of a space shuttle cockpit? Why, in an age without machines, do the walls of a sacred temple show what looks like a helicopter? We are told that history flows in a straight line, that technology advances, always forward. But what if that line is a loop, and what we call progress is merely rediscovery? Could it be that another civilization, ancient, wise, and perhaps not entirely human, once walked this earth? Could the Great Pyramids be not just tombs, but beacons? Could the gods of Egypt be not divine fantasies, but ancient astronauts returning from the stars? Could our future be written in our past? The silence of stone may never speak in words, but it echoes. In every carved wing, in every mysterious glyph, in every bird that shouldn't fly and every rocket drawn before rockets existed, it echoes. And perhaps that is the truest mystery, that the past is not dead. It is merely asleep, waiting for the right eyes, the right minds, the right moment. So the next time you stand before a museum relic or gaze at the pyramids beneath a starlit sky, ask yourself, are we alone? Or are we the children of a forgotten visitation, searching for the ships that brought us here?